Purple Army, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sohum and I'm on a mission to spread peace, love, and positivity through music. Today, I'm bringing you another triple reaction, but this time it's not necessarily to Prince himself, it's to a bunch of famous artists covering Prince's songs. We're going to first check out TLC's cover of If I Was Your Girlfriend, then School of Fish covering Let's Pretend We're Married, and end the triple reaction off with the Foo Fighters covering Darling Nikki. I am a sucker for covers any way you splice it, whether it's an artist covering Prince, Prince covering another artist, the two artists together coming together on a Prince song and expanding it more, or the artist and Prince coming together on their own track and playing it together. All of those combinations, and I'm sure more that are out there, intrigue me very much because covers are another way to reimagine the same emotional idea from a song. And we've heard this on the channel before with different variants of Prince tracks, whether it's the studio, the live, a different live, or a rehearsal. All of those nuances, all of those differences in environment can catalyze change in the underlying structure of the song itself, or the emotional gravity of the song. Again, any way you splice it, it is a very fun time to just listen to more music from the Prince world. So I'm excited to hear how these artists interpret those songs today. But before we dive in, let's please thank Rodney the Gentle for making this donation request. I think it's an awesome idea for a triple reaction, Rodney, and I do appreciate it. Now, let's jump in. I think I know one TLC song in my life. I wonder if they're gonna flip the gender narrative here. Settle down, don't worry. I'm settled.
If I was your girlfriend, would you remember? Tell me all the things you forgot. If I was your man,
yeah.
hey, if I was your man,
Yeah, it's changing it now.
if I was your best friend, would you let me take care of you? Do all the things that only your best friend can. Only best friends can.
Oh, you get that little pluck of the bass right there with this funky beat.
If I was your girlfriend,
This is very in the spirit of Prince. I feel all the components.
if I was your girlfriend, if I was your girlfriend, would you let me dress you? I mean, help you pick out your clothes before we go out.
Yeah, funnily enough, my girlfriend and I recently did this where, I'm not the best with fashion. You may be able to tell by the torsos and all of these reactions that I have one torso, all of the shirts and tops that I wear and all these reactions. So recently she helped me pick out a bunch of new fits, new clothes. Excited to wear them, though I don't really post much on Instagram these days. Maybe you'll see an Instagram post with a new fit one of these days.
Would you let me dress you? I mean, help you pick out your clothes.
I gotta up my
before we
fashion,
go
you know?
out. Not that you're helpless, but sometimes those are the things that being in love's about. If I was your one and only
I don't know I don't know the names of the singers here, but this voice, it's so breathy and smoky. I think it's my favorite of the three.
Girlfriend, I know how to treat you right. I could see what you
Very
see
seductive.
and hear what you hear. And most of all, I can feel what you feel. Oh, make me wanna say, shoulda, if I was your girlfriend, oh yeah, if I was your girlfriend, if I was your girlfriend, baby, can I dress you? If I got your clothes before we go out. Sometimes those are the things that feelings about. All the things you are to me. Surely you can see.
Yeah, super love the vibe in that song. TLC, what was the song that I know from them? I'm going to quickly check it on my Spotify because is it No Scrubs? No Scrubs, no love for me. I think that's their song. That's what I'll go with because I've heard some covers too of No Scrubs by TLC, but I'm pretty sure that's the only song of theirs that I know. I really love the soulful flair that they bring. It's very relaxed and reserved, and this song, it's rather not necessarily moody, but atmospheric, smoky, breathy, and just communicating. If I was your girlfriend, could we do all of these things together? Could we just be together in a functional, happy, loving way? And I don't know why this thought kind of entered my brain, but it was, I think, at the start of the pandemic and online, there were so many videos and podcasts that started to emerge, all talking about what it means to be like a masculine man, a feminine woman, all of these kind of back and forth arguing that was happening. And it was very interesting to see how different sides, how different people were communicating their ideas first and foremost, and then secondarily understanding the perspectives of the other side. And for me, at a very high level, the idea of masculinity, femininity, these are all just descriptors to describe the way we feel as humans. And I think a big part of that conversation that people neglected is that the human umbrella is the most important. Not masculinity, not femininity, but the way we treat other humans. We don't have to treat each other poorly. We don't have to exert control just because we're overly masculine, or we don't have to be passive or whatever just because we're more feminine. And we can look at psychologically at, okay, what are the averages for how people tend to behave, but we don't need to impose any restrictions on ourselves, especially as we move forward technologically, as we hope to ameliorate the different perils that our society faces. We cannot be stuck in different, like, gender wars, for example, and having these continued crises. I understand why they emerge, but we have to continually, I think, recenter ourselves into our own humanity. What is the goal that we have set out for ourselves, and how can we best enact that goal through the values that we uphold? If those systems are then challenged and then there's substantive issues on that back and forth, then okay, we can hash those issues out and talk about it and try to come to some level of understanding societally. But oftentimes, that's why I brought up the first point of the way information is communicated during that pandemic time, especially. So much of the conversation, the rhetoric was very, how to put it lightly, not very constructive. And a song like this just makes me think of all of those foolhardy conversations that Did they go somewhere? Maybe, yes, no. Who's to say? I just want people, if you're watching my reactions, to have love for humanity. Peace, love, positivity. That's what we preach over here. Anyways, let's jump into the next song. Let's Pretend We're Married by School of Fish. Full disclosure, no idea who School of Fish are. It's very scary. A lot of feedback in the amp. Oh, what a rocking feel. Wall-to-wall sound here.
Excuse me, but I need a mouth like yours to help me forget. Girl, just walk out my door. Funny, but it seems that you're alone like me. But if you are, come on, let's go see what we can see. Little darling, if you're free for a couple of hours, and if you ain't busy for the next 7 years, let's pretend we're married all night. 'Cause there ain't nothing wrong if it feels alright. And I won't stop until the morning light. Let's pretend we're married all night. Tonight, we sha could, yeah. All the hippies sing together. We sha could.
I'm sort of hearing a double vocal layer, unsure if it's two vocalists or the same one. It's like above and a little bit more distant.
Excuse me, but I need your chemistry. And don't you want to be my fantasy?
What a great tone on the guitar.
Girl's gone and she don't care at all. And if she did, so what? Come on, baby, let's ball. Little darling, if you're free for a couple of hours, and if you ain't busy for the next 7 years, let's pretend we're married all night. 'Cause there ain't nothing wrong if it feels alright. And I won't stop until the morning light. Let's pretend we're married all night. Tonight, ooh, sha cookie, yeah. All the hippies sing together.
It's sort of interesting. This band sounds a little similar to, and I only did one reaction to this band on the channel called Soul Asylum. Somehow I get that feeling from this group that they're like in a similar, at least musical world. It's a bit of like that alt rock feel, bit of that punk rock kind of voice. It also feels like weirdly nostalgic, like from the 2000s. I'm not sure when this band was like a thing. School of Fish, again, is not a band I've ever heard of before. I can just imagine it being in that era specifically.
Ooh, sha cookie, yeah. All the hippies sing together. Ooh, sha cookie, yeah. Ooh, sha cookie, yeah. All the hippies sing together.
Oh, I like the winding down of the guitars there. One on my left, one on my right. Drums right in the middle. feedback. A lot of reverb. Ooh, the slow down. Interesting. Wow. It's like gravelly, winding down. A lot of distortion there. I'm always a fan of distortion. It's like distending and falling apart. It's kind of like ending where it began. And you got that sustain on everything too, so it just like holds out in that distortion field. It's cool. It's cool. I like songs like this where they decide to take the original almost in a, I wouldn't say completely other direction, because of course Prince has his rock character in him. Though this song to me feels a little bit too like boy bandy, punk rocky, rather than like as seductive as a song like Let's Pretend We're Married is. Because Let's Pretend We're Married is all about role play, right? It's all about living in the current moment, and let's not worry about what happens after 7 years. Let's make this moment happen now. And it feels like it needs a little bit more of that seduction element. The guitars were distorted enough, they were thick enough, the effects were nice enough that I feel like they could have done something in that way, but I think they opted for more of a standard version of this song, which I don't know, it almost feels like they took the original, put it through a alternative rock filter that like removes some of the cool intricacies that make that song stand out, in favor of emphasizing the distorted effects but losing some of the, again, sensuality, seduction in the song. So it is a trade-off that they're making, and I really can't say anything bad about it musically, because it is enjoyable to listen to, but just having heard Let's Pretend We're Married, the original, I think I still prefer the original. With the TLC, If I Was Your Girlfriend, I can see a world where I listen to that version separate to the Prince version that I've heard. But yeah, that's just where I land on it. And for a first time listening to School of Fish, again, definitely reminding me a bit of like that Soul Asylum group, a bit of that punk rock, alternative rock space, which I love. Alt rock, punk rock, metalcore, like genres in and around that world so much, but this is a little too standard for me. Last comment, and then we'll jump into the Darling Nikki cover. That ending that we heard there almost reminds me of an ending of a 3 Days Grace track that I remember hearing. I believe it was on their 1X album. Not sure how many of you are 3 Days Grace fans out there. That would be a crazy crossover, but if you know the name of the song, leave it in the comments for me. That'd be much, much appreciated. Anyways, let's jump into the last cover of the day. Foo Fighters, Darling Nikki. Let's jump in.
Foo Fighters recorded Prince's Darling Nikki. I don't know if Prince liked it that much. And we weren't planning on doing it. We hadn't played it in 20 years. So, let's do it.
20 years? Wild.
Met her in a hotel lobby, masturbating with the magazine.
It's a crazy first like lyrics.
Time and I could not resist when I saw little Nicky cry.
Dude, see, Foo Fighters, they know how to rock.
She took me to her
Oh, wow.
castle and I just
And the crazy dynamic shift back to the verse, it just cuts out all of that distortion again.
took me to her castle and I just couldn't believe my eyes. She had so many devices, everything that money could buy. She said, sign your name on the dotted line. The lights went out and Nikki started to cry.
Oh, bro. Dude, let's hear that again. Let's go, Dave. Let's go.
Nikki started to cry.
Phenomenal.
Acid started spinning, oh, maybe it was my brain. I can't tell you
It's
what
almost
she
like a
did
bit of a
to me, but
grunge
nobody would
feel,
ever
too.
be the same. Oh, loving will kick your knee.
Oh, man.
She'll show you no mercy, but she'll shout out to you. Woke up the next morning. Nikki wasn't there.
The dynamics are wild.
Looked all over
Big
and
fan.
all I saw was a phone number on the stairs. She said, thank you for a funky time. Call me up whenever you want.
Bro, that is awesome. Oh yeah, pick scrape it up. Oh man, dude, Dave, he's got it. Maybe we need to do more Foo Fighters on the channel. I heard him and Foo Fighters do one with Ann Wilson. Yeah, man. I'm very down to do more Foo Fighters on the channel. Hearing Dave do that, I didn't know he had that in the tank. And it's hard. It is very hard to emulate a Prince scream because he is, again, I kind of have dubbed it pterodactyl screams that he does. They come from a very crazy place in your vocal cords, and it feels like whenever I hear Prince do it, like if I were to do the same thing, I would shred my vocal cords apart. I would be unable to speak and film reactions for weeks on end. Dave did that multiple times throughout the performance, and you know, to boot, it's a very solid rock performance as well, but I mean the highlight for me is the screams from Dave, which may be kind of crazy highlight to come away with, but hey, it works for me. And you know, I was just thinking, like, after having checked out all three of these today from TLC, School of Fish, Foo Fighters, it's still impossible to replicate Prince's magic. I mean, that is like the unattainable thing that everybody's going to try to strive for, and recognizing that that task is impossible is the first step to recovery and first step to reinventing Prince songs in the way that you would like to see and pay homage in the creative way that you can, because you know, what is what good is a cover if it sounds identical to the original, right? Now, that said, when we think about the original songs today, with Prince at the helm, they are always so sporadic. The mixes are filled with so much, and I notice the simplicity in the mixes from all three today. I would say even the most complex mix was from School of Fish, really emphasizing that feedback, the distortion, the reverb, the sustain, the delay. But it still feels digestible in a way that when I listen to Prince and the versions of all of his songs, they are just so out of the box in his musical thinking. The only way to replicate it would to literally just piece by piece by piece make sure in your mix you're incorporating all of those elements, and then try to stack more on top of that if you're going to even attempt to top the original. That said, nothing will really ever top the originals for me, at least for these three tracks today. I'm curious if you guys have more recommendations like these. You can leave them in the comments below. You can send a reaction as well if you're interested in a more guaranteed kind of sense. You can find that first link in the description box below. But as always, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.